Well, hi guys. I'm back out here playing with Bob. Thought I'd just shoot a little video. Part 4 is coming up with the scraping video, or excuse me, the planing video. But things are piling up so much around here, I need to get some other things done. So, figure I'd film this. This is Bob, for those of you that are new around here. Bob is a 1975 Hardinge Chucker lathe. We had a little argument about how that name is pronounced, so from now on it's just Bob. Bob, I bought from a machine shop that the owner had died. It came very well tooled. I also was able to find the automatic threading attachment for it at a shop about 2 hours from here, which was totally unusual. I mean, how many times you look on eBay for something and it's right around the corner? Well, right around the corner in Texas. So I've been messing with Bob off and on for a little while. Bob had a problem with its speed change. As you can see, well, I guess you can see up here, this is the panel that controls the speeds. This is the forward and reverse lever, and this is 1, 2, and 3 range for the gears. It can be reverse, 3 at the same speeds. Up there's a rheostat that controls 1 and 2, takes it up to 1250 and down to 125 RPMs. Then you go into 3 and it takes you all the way up to 3000. None of that was working. And I found the problem after about 8 hours. And that'll come up in another video. Don't you just hate it when you go online to a forum and people are asking questions and have the problem and they never come back and tell you? I found 3 forum threads like that. Same problem. Nobody's ever come back to say it. So as soon as I get this finished, I'm going to finish out those threads, maybe help somebody else out. Anyway, Bob has got a lot of slack in the belts. Now, the belts are down here. It's got one that goes down from the pulley. That rusty up pulley right there is the braking flywheel. And this has got a brake so that when you change speeds, it can change it without getting too far out of control. Up here is a variable speed pulley, and then that belt on the left goes on up to the spindle. These are precision sealed bearings, so there's no oiling in that head. So it sounds good. It sounds like everything's fine up there. I couldn't get it to change from a slow to speed up to 3000, but now all that's fixed. And the way it does that is by this motor that's inside this box. That motor turns this threaded shaft that carries the variable speed pulleys. And when you change speeds, the motor quickly rotates that shaft, thus changing the dimension of those pulleys so that it increases speed. Like right now, well, let's show you here. I've got it set for right at 1100 RPMs. It's in range 3. Turn it on and we'll go. See, I got a lot of flop in that belt. It's supposed to be tight, but not drum tight. Well, I can move it about 2 inches. Now I'm going to change gears. I'm just going to move it to position 2, which is preset at about 800 RPMs, and watch what happens. That goes down. And then if I go on down into 1, it changes the speed of the motor. It's a 2-speed motor. So it uses a variable drive and a 2-speed motor to make it work. Well, to test this sucker for proper tension, you need to have in range 3 break off, and then let it coast. Sorry that's so bright. I'm trying to get in here and work, and maybe that'll be better for you guys. Oh yeah, that works really well. You can see all the way to the floor. Maybe that'll be better. Okay. See how much slop is in that? Well, to get that out of there, you go down into this area to that bolt that's right there. That bolt has got a nut on top and then a rod that goes down through that bottom floor plate. Let's see. And into those threaded blocks and out the bottom of the cabinet. Well, I was trying to adjust it, and did a little bit, by turning that nut on that rod, and that's not how you do it. Basically, you back that nut off, and then you turn the rod. After I cleaned it out, I found that it's got an Allen socket screw in the top. So, hopefully, I can get my air ratchet in there and make this work. Let's try. You guys are going to have to move. Maybe come up here. You may have to trust me on this one. Let's see about getting that nut loose. Our goal is to make that plate go down. I'm not really super sure how that's going to work. That's what I'm trying to do. The goal is to make this nut be loose, which now it is. And then I'm going to put my air ratchet in there and see what let's get down there and see what's going on. Going to assume the Don position down here. We find him laying on the floor a lot. Not really. Okay. You can't see anything, can you? How about now? I can see. Well, that's making that plate go down. And that seems to got a little bit tighter. Now, you gotta move these pulleys when you're adjusting very drive. Belt got a lot looser. Let's see what we can do. I need you to be in there a little bit better, Mr. Socket. Moved it quite a bit. It's still loose when I twist it, so I'm going to do a little bit, then I'll run it some more. Now we're making progress. Sorry about the compressor coming off. Heck, we got enough noise going. Let's turn this on too. Why not? All right, here we go. 3, Oh my. That's much quieter. Belt's flopping a little bit, but nothing like it was. The belts don't look like they're messed up. They just look like they're stretched out. And who knows how long it's been since they've been adjusted. But you can still see we got a lot of slop in it. So let's go down here. That moved it down quite a bit. I'm sorry, I'll edit that noise out for you. Top one's a little bit loose, but let's go ahead and run it a minute. You got to run them to make that variable speed pulley adjust right. Yeah, that sounds smooth. All right, we're letting it coast down. Still a little bit tight. Let's go one more time. Okay, try it again. The manual says to run it in speed range 3 and 1100 RPMs on the selector B. That took all the belt flop out of it. A little bit in the back. Sure to flatten things down. Okay. And we check for tension. Well, that's not super tight. That one is neither. So I think we should go one more time. And turn it back on. Okay, letting it coast down. I'm gonna give it a little bit more and that's it. We're gonna call it quits at that. Need to tighten up the adjustment nut. The locker. This thing, I think you guys got problems. You got big hands. You're going to have to come out here and watch from here. I'm going to let it go like this and use it for a while. And we will see if that needs adjustment in a couple weeks. get in there. Y'all aren't even watching. Yeah, you are. Okay, that's tight. All right. One more time. See if we like it. Sounds good. Guys, I want to kind of use this camera to show you what's going on. I've been adjusting that screw right down through there and making that motor plate go down, put more tension on these two belts. That's the motor belt, and that one is the drive belt going up to the spindle. The spindle does not have any oiling. It has precision bearings that are sealed and for life, they say, and it seems to be in pretty doggone good shape. My problem with Bob, once again, was it was not changing speeds. It would go from 1 to 2, it would speed up a little bit, but then you couldn't change it on up or even go into third range and get any increase in speed. So after 8 hours, I found out that it was related to this box, which is the motor controller for that screw, which, depending on the position that screw rotates, depends on how fast that variable speed pulley opens up and adjusts the size of the belt. So down here on the apron, you have forward, reverse, and brake, and 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 correspond to these dials up here. Speed 1 and 2 control 1 and 2 down here, and the way they do that is this is a 2-speed motor. So by combining 1 and 2 on this, they can use the same rheostat for speed. And you can see it goes down to 125 up to 420 in position 1, and 375 to 1250 in position 2. Speed 3 has its own rheostat and is strictly controlled by the variable speed in the high speed of the motor. So it changes the variable speed pulley up and down. Pull it on to start. Right here, I'm going to put it into gear 1, and I'm going to select 125, and I'm going to tell it to go to forward. And if you look down in here, the motor has changed the position of that variable speed pulley, and thus the pulley on the left is very, very wide. That's what's making it go slower, because it essentially changed the size of the pulley by making the belt go down closer to the shaft. Now if I was to reach up here and give it a little twist on that dial, watch what happens. Got a wire in the way, guys, sorry. Okay, that's the pulley, and here we go. Now you can see the pulley is closed up considerably. The shaft has gone way up, and that's what makes it happen. So now I'm going to switch it into third gear at 3,000 RPMs. This happens quickly, so watch. See how fast that went up? Now look at the size of that pulley. Belt's on the outside of about exactly where it needs to be. I'm going to go to speed 2 and then back to 1. And then 1 and 2 is basically controlled by the speed of the 2-speed motor. But if I were to reach up here and do that selector, see how wide it gets in there? That's position 2, and that's position 1. Now we're going to go to high speed. Anyway, that's how Bob's speed change works, and now all of that is working properly. It's on to doing some other things. I set up the turret so I could make this little tool that I need for the tool master to press in a bearing seal that I found. I've just got to do a little boring on it, and it'll be ready to roll.